Yeah, thanks for making the time, obviously. You have had a tough couple of days.
In der Liebe und im Krieg ist alles gestattet.
Miss Daphne Bridgerton.
As Anthony, you are the lead of the family, obviously, and in real life, you actually are the youngest, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm the Gregory.
Did you ask your sister to give you any tips?
I think I've luckily had 32 years of observing, and being the youngest, I've obviously been able to get away with a lot of mischief. So it's quite nice to don the bigger hair and the longer mutton chops, and play the Viscount.
I see, because your beard is a little different than it used to be on the show. Was that the first thing you got rid of, or did you carry on?
I did. It was the first thing. I actually I lost the real deals about a month before we finished filming, and so I had some little wigs popped on. But yeah, they were about 90% of the character choices that I made. So I mean, once the sideburns were there, Anthony came quickly.
Nice. Well, as Anthony, you obviously have values like you are a very proud man, and the family name is very important to you. Is that something that you value as a person as well, or is there a difference?
No, absolutely. I think the first thing that having read the scripts, the first thing that drew me in was just his love for his family and his siblings, and the bizarreness of that patriarchal system for men in inheriting a title at such a young age, where clearly this is a guy. I mean, it would have happened when he was like 20. He's not ready. He's not emotionally sound enough to take on the responsibility. The male, which is an interesting conversation that we're having in 2020 as well, even still, but the ability to be able to emote and to communicate feeling, whether that's in love with his mother, protecting her, as well as Daphne, and being incredibly controlling about who she's going to marry. And he means really well, but he's a young boy, really, and he's lost. So it was, the value of family, I think, is what gives this show its glow, I think, and I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, especially expressing feelings. That seems to be a hard thing for Anthony. I mean, oh no, I can't spoil it. So next question. Would you have liked him as a person if you'd met Anthony, or if you would meet him now? Would you have liked him?
I think we would have had a really good night out. I feel like he's got a naughty twinkle, and there's a whole part of his growing up that he is being refused because of the fact that he has to be responsible for his family. But no, he's complicated and he's tricky. But you get that in episode 1. You get that moment between him and Simon, and you hear there's references to what they were like at their university Oxford days, and by all accounts, I'm sure they got up to lots of fun and mischief. So there's a bit of Anthony in there that perhaps we see at moments. There's a really lovely moment with him and Daphne in the kitchen. He really does care.
With the milk.
With the milk, which when I read, it's it's a beautifully written scene. And so there's parts of Anthony that I'd love to hang out with, and there's obviously other parts that I'd like to go in and be like, look, come on, let's just have a chat. In a world where psychotherapy didn't really exist, but I think he could do with a therapist. Bless him. Yeah,
that's true. You just talked about Simon and the relationship between the two. The friendship is quite versatile, I'd say. How do you get along in real life?
Oh yeah, we got on really, really well. We started the very first scene we both filmed was that scene in the Gentleman's Club in episode 1. So it was a really good place to start. But the way that the show is such a huge, vast show that Chris has conjured up from Julia Quinn's novels, that you can we filmed for sort of 8.5 months, and there was various different characters that you feel like loads because you've had breakfast with them, you've had lunch with them every day, and you're up at the crack of dawn, you don't see daylight together, and yet you don't really meet. So but with Reggae it was great because we started where the friendship starts, which is slightly like a bit of a bromance, I think. And then of course all the complications come into play, and there's so many obstacles for them. But so all the stuff that we had to play opposite each other was great. We really spent more time doing fight training And then when we came down to the scenes, there's a lot of just sort of being sat opposite at the other side of the table. But you know, he's even at a 2 meter distance, he's great fun. So yeah, it was great.
So you spent a lot of time with him, and off camera, did you have anything? I mean, I don't know, how did you pass the time? I don't assume you rode your horse, or I don't know.
Yeah, we would just go and lasso wild horses. And
Yeah.
Just like standard lad stuff. Go shooting, drink port, brandy. No, we sort of, because we were staying in these amazing locations as a cast. So we all really bonded. They cast it so well in that we're sort of all a similar tribe. And type of person, I think, and type of actor. And a lot of the actors who are in this I'd worked with before, because there's a lot of British theatre actors. So that was really nice. I knew Luke Thompson, who plays Benedict, and Golda, who plays the Queen, and Adjua. They're both and Ruth Gemmell, who plays the mum. They're stonking theatre actors. So yeah, and we just managed to tour all these amazing National Trust and huge estates in the south of England, as well as getting down and dirty with the actual scenes in the studio. So yeah, I mean, it was brilliant, and we all really got on. So there was lots of japery backstage.
That sounds nice. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I'm being cut off now, but
so
thanks.
quick.
It was great talking to you.
I know, thank you, Clara.
Seien Sie versichert, es gibt keinen Skandal, der mir verborgen bliebe und dessen Details ich nicht mit Ihnen teilte.